All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight for another installment of Crazy Dating Stories. This is Crazy Dating Stories Volume 8. I'm going to be sharing another 5 very interesting Reddit postings and putting my own spin on it and sharing with you folks what is right about the people are saying in those postings and what is not right and how they can better improve their dating life. Some of the things they do may be right and some of it may be wrong. And if you just tweak things up just a little bit and you get a little better each and every day, eventually you will find that true love and happiness because you're going to know how to best represent yourself in this crazy modern dating world that we're all living in nowadays, right? But before we get to that again, welcome to the show. I hope you've all had a great day. If you're here live, if you're watching on the replay, whenever that may be down the road, hopefully your day is going well. I'll tell you folks, I did a live stream from the park earlier today, my Walking with Purpose series. At the time that I was doing this live, earlier today, I did episode number 220 on my Walking with Purpose stream. Typically I'll do, 3 to 3.5 to 4 miles each day while I'm live on the air and talking about a great topic. And I'll say, when I was on that walk, today, I felt better than I felt on any other given day over the past couple of years. Those of you that have been following me for quite some time know that I herniated a disc a couple of years ago, and I've had some sciatica issues. And if you've heard of sciatica, the sciatic nerve, when you herniate a disc on one side of your body, typically it's like on your lower back, if it compresses alongside of the sciatic nerve, that sciatic nerve runs all the way down to, your leg, through your, butt, through your, thighs, and on down through your shin and that area, the calves, actually, the calf area, down to your feet. And it's a mofo, let's put it that way, to walk. And, today, I got to say, I am feeling better than I have over the past couple of years. Most of you that have been following me for a while also know that I've suffered from constipation my entire life. And after a 2-week regimen of using a product called Zupu, an unpaid endorsement, I feel clean and clear. My gut health, it is great. My sciatic nerve has subsided tremendously. My sciatic pain is pretty much almost gone. I'm 48 years old, and I feel freaking amazing. And I'm sharing this with you folks because regardless of your age, if you're going through something and you want to learn how to better improve your health naturally based on my past experiences, I can also help you with that. Please go to my website. The link is below in the description. It's coach.eliasmelas.com and click on the coaching services tab. I offer phone coaching and email coaching services that will definitely be able to help you, work through anything that you're struggling with. So that way you can show up being the best version of you that you can be, and you can accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires, personally and professionally. All right. So enough of that. I have nothing more to say in the monologues. Let's get right to the first of 5 Reddit dating stories, crazy dating stories. That's what we're doing. Yeah, that's what we're doing here tonight. All right, let's switch on over to the browser source. And this very first posting is from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate. As always, I call this my favorite subreddit because I am a purple pill man. If you're wondering what the pills of MGTOW are, just go and, do a Google search for the pills of MGTOW. I am not MGTOW. I'm not involved in that community. But when I was, and if I still was, the best way to correlate what type of man I am, I'm a purple pill man. And that's where I feel anyone should be if you're rating yourself as a guy on the MGTOW pill system. So let's see. The original poster's title is, "Why do you think people are drifting apart from each other in dating, and more people are perpetually single?" One more time. Why do you think people are drifting apart from each other in dating, and more people are perpetually single? I forgot to make sure that the YouTube notification went out, and it actually did. So that's good. And the back end of YouTube is rolling smoothly. All right. We're good now. We're good. So let me just share my thoughts here. Well, let me read what the original poster wrote, because it's very short and there are some interesting responses in the comment section, especially in rich Western countries. Yeah, the stigma is that Western women are different than Eastern women. Western women are women like, from the US and Canada, etc. And Eastern women are like women like from, China, etc., like that, Philippines, etc., like that, right? And the truth of the matter is, I honestly don't feel it has to do anything with Western women versus Eastern women. Yeah, maybe some Eastern women are still very, very traditional, but with the internet and social media and all the discussion that's happening regarding modern day dating and feminism and women being liberated and all this stuff, I think all women nowadays are very well versed and aware of what's going on, and many men are as well. So I don't think it has to do with, Western women versus Eastern women. But let's continue, and I'll share my thoughts in a second. But poor countries are starting to catch up as well with Western influence. I just said that in different words. Then they're not just starting to catch up, they're already there. Why do you think men and women are hating on each other instead of loving each other? What happened? Why is everyone so focused on themselves that they swear off dating completely and only care about hedonistic pleasures? Well, you can thank the internet for that first and foremost. And also the ease of online dating apps that allows to connect with, tens of people or even hundreds of people each day. There are some women out there that are getting hundreds of matches each day. And what do they do with that? They can only date one man at a time, right? And even if they were a player, how many guys could they play around with in a week? Maybe 5 or 10. It's become an overwhelming market to the point of where it's very difficult, primarily more so for women, to choose one man, but also some decent men, like myself when I was single, I got a decent amount of matches. I wouldn't say as many as women get, but I would get 5 to 10 matches a day. But that's because I take care of myself. I put out nice pictures, good pictures, and I know how to talk with women. I would ask for their numbers and get on the phone and properly vet them to make sure that they're worthy of meeting up in person. You can learn a lot from one phone call before meeting someone that you're chatting with through a dating app. And I mentioned this on the Walking with Purpose stream I did earlier today. If you're watching this live, it happened earlier today. If you're watching on the replay, it's episode number 220 of my Walking with Purpose live stream series. And I was talking about, how to properly vet people so that way, you don't waste, your time and energy, and you don't have any unnecessary stress in your life. And, I just think people are getting overwhelmed out there with online dating. Plus, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Women are now doing jobs that once were only known as jobs that men would do. And those jobs require women to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And even my lady that I'm dating right now, she's very feminine with me, but she's tried to turn on the masculinity at times. And she even told me a few weeks back when we were hanging out, she goes, "You know what, babe? After going to work and doing what I do, it's very difficult to turn off that energy when I come home." And what she's saying is that the job she's doing is requiring her to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And she's so used to doing that at work. And she doesn't like it. Women do not like exuding masculine energy, but they're forced to do it as part of their job requirement. And then they get so used to it that, when they come home from work, they're still in that mindset. And then they start treating their men that way. They start being bossy towards their man. And they start, speaking with a rougher tone of voice instead of a sweeter tone of voice that us men love about women. And, they become more dominant than submissive and feminine, which is the natural essence of a woman. And that's what men are attracted to. So that's why, in my opinion, I feel people are drifting apart from each other in dating, and more people are perpetually single because women are struggling to be more feminine like they've always been naturally. And a lot of men, that don't understand what's going on are struggling to be more masculine. There are a lot of guys out there that behave more feminine and submissive nowadays than masculine. And that just flips the polarity between men and women and creates no sexual attraction, no attraction at all, right? When a man's in his masculine and a woman is in her feminine, that is the recipe for a beautiful relationship. So let's go down to the comment section and see what was written there. The average life in a Western country with porn, internet, food is comfortable enough so you don't have to get out of that comfort zone to do anything with your life. Well, that's a real crappy way to look at it, man. That's real crappy. There are plenty of things you can do, okay? You can become the best version of yourself that you can be, get in the best shape possible, wear nice clothing, get into a good career that, focuses around your purpose and what you love to do. You make good money, and then you'll attract a really good woman. Just vet her properly and make sure that she's into you for the right reasons, just not your money. Yeah, that's my advice on that right there. This guy's name is Starch Runner. What an interesting name. Toxic masculinity. Oh, that's funny. The red pill started with the head mod saying that dating became a miserable experience, and I had to concur to some degree. It can be a miserable experience if you allow it to be, okay? You just have to properly vet people and not waste your time on the wrong women, guys. And ladies, don't waste your time with the wrong men. Ask questions and see how well you get along. And if you don't have a whole lot of common ground and it doesn't feel right, then just end the conversation and move on to someone else. Okay, a lot of you guys focus too much time on the wrong people because you're sexually attracted to them. But there's more than sexual attraction. If the sexual attraction is there, you got to also get along mentally, bond emotionally, and bond spiritually. My younger cousins came over from Europe at the time for a summer. And I tried helping her make friends in school, as some of my friends were parents of similar age children. So after several such meetups with people, she said most would talk for a short bit and then just go on their phones. And that's another problem nowadays. People can't put their damn phones down to enjoy what they initially used their phones to set up. For example, I mentioned this a while back, years ago, in between relationships. I went on some dates with a few women, and while I was on dates with them, they were on their phone checking messages on the dating app from other guys in front of my face, right? With no regards to how I would feel about that. And then they wondered why I didn't go on a second date with them. I mean, use the phone to connect with people. That's what it was created for, right? But once you connect with someone, at what point can you just put the damn phone down, delete the app, and just focus on getting to know that one person? The problem is we have too many options, and we're curious about all of them, and we always wonder, even if we're someone that even if we're with someone that seems so amazing right in front of our face, and we're seeing someone the potential of someone better being out there is there. So I'm going to keep my dating app open and dating profile open and message other guys. And I'm not going to be discreet about it. I'm just going to do it while I'm on a date with this one guy. I really feel there's something that something could be there, which is what I'm trying to say. That's what's happening, right? It's addicting. It's the addiction to always wondering, is there anything better out there that we can get? Or how much attention we can get. A lot of people do it for validation. Primarily, it's women that are seeking the validation more so than men, but there are a lot of guys that, also use these dating apps for validation, even if they're already in a relationship, the beginning of a relationship with somebody that they just met from a dating app. Europe is catching up, of course, but there is still a level of socialization there that isn't for many suburban and rural Americans who were uniquely isolated. So they latched onto texting and then smartphones when they came along. Many have stunted social skills. That is definitely the problem. Nowadays, because of the digital world, which was there while I was growing up, but not as advanced as it is today. And so I grew up, doing homework with a pen and a notebook. And when I say notebook, not a laptop, an actual notebook with paper, we would handwrite things out, right? And we were not using computers in the classroom. We were opening books and we were writing with pens and paper, okay? And let me tell you something. You can retain information much, much easier when you write things down with a pen and paper than using a digital device. Digital devices have tremendously affected our social skills and our learning abilities, in my opinion. Yes, they can help you learn too, but it's been proven that, the old-fashioned way of reading from a book and writing on a piece of paper is better than doing it all digitally. Good point there. Everything else aside, I am a lottery winner for being born in any of the Nordic countries. Some of the dating-related stuff doesn't really apply here. Well, where are you from? Exactly. Like, I think the biggest thing being the bar culture. Well, yeah, the bar culture is not my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong. I like going to a sports bar every now and then and having a nice burger and occasionally maybe even having one drink. Give me a second to clear my throat here. All right. Sorry about that. We should be back. Give me just a second here. Okay. But, I don't feel the need to drink all the time. I don't have an alcohol dependency issue or anything like that. I don't even feel the need at times to even have a social drink, But I've never gone to the bar environment to just socialize by myself and try to pick up women there. I think picking up women at a bar is the worst place to do it because you're going to be picking up women that like to drink alcohol. And there's a great chance that, not saying all, but many of the women that, go to the bars to drink and meet men are alcoholics. And do you really want to be dating an alcoholic? Do you want to be dating a drug addict? I mean, so yeah, the bar culture is not my cup of tea, especially when it comes to meeting women. Here, people kind of go to a bar with a small group of friends and don't really talk to strangers that much. And you know what? That's what I've done. I may go to a bar every now and then with my current lady or a lady that I've dated in the past, while I was dating her in the past, to be clear, or with some friends. But it's not to go there and meet women. I feel, like I said, bars are the worst place to meet women. Let's see here. It can happen, but as a dating strategy, not reliable at all. It is not reliable at all, and you shouldn't even use it at all. Let's see. You state as if Europe is any different from the U.S., depending if it is in Orthodox Eastern European country where 90% of them still believe in and hold their Christian values. Listen, this has nothing to do with Christian values or Eastern versus Western or anything like that at all. Women are liberated all over the world. Women have equal rights now all over the world. And women are now doing things all over the world that were things that were once only known as things that men would do, right? So you guys are looking at this the wrong way. See, you guys are spending too much time in the red pill community where all these guys talk a bunch of crap because they're angry and bitter and jaded, and they want to keep you on their platform longer, whether it's YouTube, here on Reddit, or wherever it is. And they're just trying to, make money off of you and trying to project their hate and misery onto you. And the longer that you associate with these guys, the longer it's going to take for you to snap out of it and figure out what to really do, so you can actually find a good woman. Because there are good women out there. There are good women out there. There are. I lived in Spain, France, and currently in the UK the past 7 years, and same thing as you described here. My lady just sent me a text saying, "I can't express how much I appreciate you." Well, ma'am, are you, I know you're out at dart night with friends. Are you on a break and are you watching me live? If so, send me a text. I'll check it out. But hey, I appreciate you too. Thank you. I'm just doing my thing. And my lady just sends me a text saying, "I can't express how much I appreciate you." I'm provoked. I'm just being a man focused on my purpose. And see, guys, let the woman come to you. Now, I'm nice to her and I say nice things to her too, when the time is right, but now I'm busy focused on my purpose. And look, she's reaching out to me, saying something nice and thinking about me. That's the way it should be, guys. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand. So after several such meetups with people, she said most would talk for a short bit and then just go on their phones. That's because they lack social skills. There's a severe lack of socialization in the modern world, which more so leads me to believe that one of the reasons why, when I was single and I was trying to connect with women that were under 40 or even under 35, the millennial women, like it was really hard to have a conversation with them because they've been raised in an environment that lacks socialization. And hopefully, the Gen Zers and this brand new generation of of boys and girls 10 and under, the alpha generation, hopefully they turn that around and start to focus more on socializing. Because if not, it's going to continue getting worse with these digital devices. I'm even attending university, where half the class don't even talk to each other, like not even a single fucking word since semester started last year. And they all look miserable on their faces, despite them probably saying they are happy otherwise. They are miserable because they've been raised in this environment where the digital device is what is supposedly making them happy, and it's not. If they put the digital device down and started, associating with people in real life, then it would change their lives. Now, I love using my iPhone 12 Pro Max. For example, if I go hiking with friends or my lady or whoever, I like to use the phone and run an app that calculates the amount of miles and calories I burn, right? So when I get on the trail, I open the app, which is what I'm trying to say. I start it and it runs itself, right? Every so often, I'll check it and update myself and whoever I'm with, how many miles we've gone, how many calories we burned, right? And then maybe I'll have the All Trails app open as well, because it'll tell us how far along we're on the trail. And if we get lost, it'll help us find it. Nothing wrong, or help us find our way, which is what I'm trying to say. But there's nothing wrong with using the phone in that situation and looking at it occasionally, because it's like a navigation tool, right? But if you're going to go on that hike And if you stop and have reception during certain parts of certain trails, okay, and instead of having a conversation with people you're with that you're hiking and getting exercise with, that's stupid. Why would you go on a hike to be on your phone? Might as well just stay home and do nothing and rot. Give me 1 second, please. I've had dry mouth lately. Maybe I've been just talking too much and been doing too many streams and videos. I may have to take a break soon and rest my voice. Anyway, a little liquid, and we're back in business here. All right, where did we leave off here? It is as if it is that awkward first day of school thing where people are scared of each other. However, in my case, it is permanent. Yeah, the first day or first week jitters is one thing, but if it's like that the entire year, then that's a problem. That's a big problem. We really, really need to focus on social skills in the modern world. And I think we need to really focus on it at a grammar school level, high school level, and even a college level. Let's see. One can only hope, right? I live half and half in Germany and the U.S. However bad Germany is, it is a lot worse in America. Well, I will give you folks that. Dating is probably worse here in America than anywhere else. That is because we've always been land of the free, home of the brave. We've had so much freedom here for the longest time that, now that women have been liberated, it's out of control. It's out of control. And I'm not saying that all men and women are out of control, but there are a lot of men and women that are out of control. You just have to learn to properly vet people when you're talking with them either in person or meeting them through a dating app, and have a phone conversation with them and see if it's even worthy to meet up with them. If you properly vet people, okay, then you're going to eventually come across someone that is down to earth and genuine, can also carry a conversation, and is worthy of meeting. The problem with you folks is that, you're getting enamored by very attractive people and you're overlooking the rest of everything else. That's the thing. Looks are only one aspect of it, okay? It's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Oops, I bumped my mic, and that's why I have the shock mount for when I bump it. I got the itch on the nose here. Excuse me. Itch for good luck. All right, we are 28 minutes. Let me read one more here, and then we're going to get to the second one, and then take a break and come back and go through the last three. They're going to get even more interesting than this one. Very true. I used to really struggle talking to the opposite sex in my late teens and very early 20s. I think all of us guys, and even some of us ladies, have had that struggle. But you get over it. You get used to it. But I think my inner city London upbringing made it very easy to get out of my own headspace pretty quickly, or you mean pretty quickly? Pretty quickly. Look at that misspell right there. These suburban American kids seem fucked. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. 1 second here. Man. It's time to trim the beard, which I'll be doing later tonight before I go to bed. So I'm going to see my lady tomorrow morning. We're going to spend the day together. I'll tell you, whenever my beard gets a little long after a week and a half, almost 2 weeks of not trimming it, I get the itches on my nose. And boy, sometimes it happens when I'm live on the air. Oh well, let's move forward here. Everyone is on their damn phones too much. Big round of applause for that again! Yeah! That's the problem. The phone has been the boyfriend and girlfriend replacement. And there's nothing better than the real deal. Put your damn phone down and enjoy the task at hand that you originally used the phone to set it up. Okay, one more here on this one, then we're going to go to the next Reddit posting here. I have had so many women spend more time on their phone while on a date with me than they did talking to me. Amen, bro. Join the crowd. That I now just leave if they use it more than once. Yeah, that's what you have to do. As I recall, years ago in between relationships, when I went on a few dates with women that were doing this, they were on their phones and they were actually they were responding to other matches from from the same dating app that they met me on. Like, I didn't say anything, but, I ended the date pretty quickly after that, within 15 to 20 minutes, so they wouldn't notice it. And then I just, never went out with them again. That's that. It's pretty freaking rude to do that, right? Yeah, you're going on a first date. You have other options. Just don't use the time we have where we're trying to get to know each other to get on your phone and respond to other potential dating matches. What's that telling the guy you're currently with? Come on. If it is an emergency or a random text, you have to answer, I understand. But constantly checking it or texting back and forth with someone while I'm trying to talk to you is rude. Lets me know you are only here for free food and not actually interested dating or in dating. Big round of applause! Absolutely correct. Here is the thing. When a woman is truly 100,000,000% interested in a guy, she will not do anything to screw it up. She will not be on her phone texting other people or other guys. She will not be in the dating apps, messaging back other guys. Okay, and she will be focused on you with those glistening eyes. Maybe she'll try to sit next to you and rub your shoulder. Later on, before you leave, she'll try to make out with you or try to stay out with you longer or try to get romantic with you. If a woman is doing all of these things, it's basically saying she either has a very low level of interest in you, and that's where it's always been, or she's not interested in you at all after meeting you, right? Okay? And a lot of that has to do with you guys not properly vetting these women before you meet them, meaning that you're not getting on a phone call with them or a video chat or whatever to hear their tone of voice, so you can feel if they're really into you or not, if they're, enthusiastic in talking with you or not. And then the one below says, I agree. All right, let's get to the next posting here before we take our first break here. And we are at 33 minutes. This is from the subreddit Dating. And the original poster's title is, why do most women seem upset about how they get so many matches and likes on dating apps and sites? Ooh, wow. One more time. Why do most women seem upset about how they get so many matches and likes on dating apps and sites? Before I read what the original poster wrote, I'm going to go on a limb with lots of experience from the past and say it's because they are overwhelmed with hundreds of messages a day. So they're not necessarily upset that they're getting lots of matches and likes. They're just getting overwhelmed. And when women are overwhelmed, they typically will react in a way similar to a way they react when they're upset. So they're not really upset. They're overwhelmed because they want to get back to everyone. Naturally, women at a normal biological level of being feminine, they don't want to be rude to anyone. They want to respond to everyone. They want to be nice to everyone. But when you get hundreds of messages because of these dating apps nowadays, right? They don't know what to do. And sorting through a couple hundred guys each day and then going to work and doing jobs that were once known as jobs that only men would do, that require them to exude masculine energy, that's further putting them into a masculine position. It's further overwhelming them. Women nowadays, between their work and dating apps and many other things, women are extremely overwhelmed. So they're not upset, they're overwhelmed. That is my opinion, and I think it should be a fact. But let's see what the original poster wrote. This is coming from the perspective of a guy that has less than 1 per 100 swipe match rate on Tinder, having never gotten a Bumble match, and my last Hinge match was in July. Well, I will tell you this. I tried Tinder one time, a long time ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago in between relationships, and I hardly got any matches there. And I never had any real conversations there. But on Bumble and Hinge, typically, I'll be honest, because I had a great profile with nice pictures and very well written, I typically would get anywhere from 2 to 5, sometimes 10 matches per day. So what this is telling me is that, your pictures are horrible. Your profile is not well written. You got to check spelling and grammar, right? And write something that's compelling for the women to respond to. But more importantly, it's pictures, right? Are you overweight or are you in shape, right? Are you wearing nice clothing in your pictures? Are you showing pictures of you professionally and of you doing activities like hiking or other outdoor activities as well? Dude, that, if you're only getting 1 match per 100 swipes, that means your profile must be one of the most horrific profiles on the planet, bro. How is there ever such a thing as too many matches? Because these women, number one, most of them have really good pictures. And unfortunately, bro, because of the amount of thirsty beta males, and I don't know, I can't really tell if you're a beta or not. Maybe so. We'll read more and we'll figure that out. But a lot of the beta males, they will validate all women, whether they're attractive or unattractive. So that's why these women get a ton of matches, because it doesn't matter what they look like. There's going to be a bunch of thirsty guys that will massively swipe right on the most hideous women. Give me a second here. I'll mention it again. Okay, that was a good scratch. I hope that. Oh man, I hope that it it just stops. It's time to shave. It's time to shave. Like ideally, if you are trying to find a partner, you would want to get more matches and more dates so you can find that person, right? Well, yeah. So why is it bad to get hundreds of matches a month? It's not. You just have to learn how to filter them out. I think what's happening here is you're a little jelly, and you're a bit upset that women are complaining that they get a ton of matches, and you're fine just getting 1 per 100 if you're lucky. I don't think you're fine with that, bro. I think you're projecting, in my opinion. My friend gets a match every other swipe and complains about it because she's overwhelmed. She says she just doesn't like it as it is too much. I've been saying that all along, bro. Women are overwhelmed, bro. Bro, if you got 200 matches a day from hot women and they all wanted to meet you, would that not be overwhelming to you? What would you do? I mean, like, most men would be like, wow, man, that's a lot of attention. I mean, that seriously, honestly, that would get to any man's head, including mine. And I'm not the kind of guy that lets a lot get to my head. But if I was single and I had 200 hot women swipe right on me and they were decent women and they were trustworthy women and they all wanted to meet me, which one would I pick? Dude, put yourself in their shoes, bro. Oh, man. This was right before she watched me swipe right on through 142 profiles without resulting in a single match. Well, dude, your pictures probably suck. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe your wardrobe sucks. Maybe your attitude sucks. Maybe what you wrote sucks with poor spelling and grammar. You're not telling us anything, bro. But that's the reason why you're not getting any matches. My Tinder analysis data was abysmal also. She laughed at me because of how low my match rate is. Bro, she probably feels sorry for you and probably knows exactly why you're not getting those matches. But she's trying to be a good friend to you, friend zone, by the way, and not hurt your feelings, brother. So obviously she feels my position isn't great, but she said she'd rather have my match rate than hers. Ah, dude, she's full of it, bro. Bro, do you actually believe that? Come on, man. Seriously, man. Women live for validation. It's part of their natural, feminine, biological essence, dude, to be validated by men. The more matches they get, the more validation they get, bro. She'd rather change positions with you to get only one match every now and then instead of the 100 she's getting. How old are you? Dude, you haven't told us how old you are. You're probably in your 20s or late teens. I see her sentiment echoed on this sub a lot, and I've never understood it. So why? Why is getting tons of matches and attention bad, and potentially tons of dates bad? Just because you get a lot of matches doesn't mean you're going to get a ton of bad dates or good dates. You never know how it's going to be with one particular person until you talk with them. And if they pass the test of, talking through a dating app, talking by phone or video chat, and then meeting in person, you're never going to know. Okay? So, it's not a bad thing to get a lot of matches. It just gives you more options, and it can become overwhelming if you don't know how to filter through those options, right? And women feel bad when they match with anyone and then they just ignore them. It's just how women are. Even the women nowadays that are modern day, strong, empowered women still feel bad deep within when they have to reject anyone, no matter how they come up. It's just how they were biologically hardwired, brother. This guy clearly just doesn't understand women, and it's telling me that he's in his teens or early to mid-20s at the oldest. Edit. Just want to add, I am not a misogynist trying to instigate an argument. Nobody called you misogynist, bro. You're not a misogynist, bro. You're just a little bit lost because you're not happy that you're not getting a lot of matches, and then you're wondering why women are complaining for getting a lot of matches when you wish you could be getting as many as them. What you're doing, dude, is going from, one side of the spectrum completely to the other side, meaning that you're going from very little to no matches to a ton of matches, right? You're going from one extreme to the other. That's the best way to put it. That's what I'm trying to say. And you're not understanding what women are going through and how overwhelming it would be even for you to get 100, 200 matches. Even if you got 10 or 20 matches, bro, that's still overwhelming. It takes time to respond to all those people and still work your job and do other activities you have and spend time with your friends and family. Come on, dude. What do you want to make? Dating your job? But you're mad that you're not getting even one match or two matches with great potentials. And that has to do a lot with how your profile is done. Pictures, how your profile is written. And that's that, bro. Heck, if you're only getting one or two matches, you're probably not even talking to them on the phone. So this is a clear issue regarding your profile, probably more so your pictures, and including what you've written too. So he says, just want to add, I'm not a misogynist trying to instigate an argument. I just don't get it as I am in the opposite boat. Well, bro, maybe you'll come across my video and you'll understand it. Maybe I'll even share the link to my video in this thread here. And that is that. Let's read a few comments here before we go on the first break here. We're at 44 minutes. It mostly reminds me of being conventionally attractive, not complaining, but that 99% of those matches just want a cum bucket. You're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah. Yeah, the majority of people you match with are either playing games, seeking validation, one-night stands. There are a good amount of people looking for relationships, but even the ones that are looking for relationships, you have to vet them properly to make sure they're mentally and emotionally stable, they're physically healthy, they're not an alcoholic, they're not, a drug addict. You have to vet them and hear their voice by phone that, they're sweet and nurturing and loving and down to earth and easy to get along with. They're more feminine sounding than masculine sounding. Okay. Honestly, don't even know. Even people who act super sweet and kind turn out to be lying to get sex. So far, never worked for me. It looks like it's a woman saying that. There are guys that are actually good guys that are actually looking for a decent relationship. And, maybe their initial interest before meeting you and sleeping with you was to have a relationship with you. But when they met you, there were some things that just didn't work for them regarding your personality. But you were still acceptable, you were decent looking, and you were open to sleeping with them. And so they slept with you. That's what happens, right? A lot of ladies nowadays, when they have one or two or three of those situations like that, they assume all guys are going to be like that. So when the good guys like me come around, right, okay, and we encounter these ladies, and they put their walls up, and that just becomes a world of shit, right? Because, when I was single, before I met this lady I'm with, if I would encounter a woman with a wall up, wanting to take it slow after something like this happened to her 2 or 3 times, right? I wouldn't even talk with that woman because she's not in a good place to date, and she's going to make me wait 5 or 10 dates before we're intimate or something. No. Intimacy is going to happen within the first 1 to 3 dates. It doesn't happen by the 3rd date at the latest. It's just not going to work. It's not meant to be. So when you encounter women like this, boom, let them go. Oh, that sucks. In my case, whenever I say a girl I'm looking for long term, they kind of lose interest. LOL. Maybe we never got what we want in online dating. Well, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with you saying you're looking for something long term. Because if a woman is looking for something long term, legitimately, she's going to want to talk with a guy that's looking for something long term. Now, a woman that just wants to have fun and see where things go, sometimes you come across women that say, you ask them what they're looking for, and they say, well, I'm just looking to have fun, and, I'm looking to meet a friend and see where things go. Women that say shit like that, like either just want to hook up, or it's just a defense mechanism to protect themselves from, getting invested too soon in case they have to withdraw so they don't get hurt, right? That's what's happening there. So if you truly want a long-term relationship as a man, you need to put that in your profile. And when you match with women through these dating sites or dating apps, and they ask you what you're looking for, or you ask them what they're looking for, and they say, I'm looking for an LTR, a long-term relationship, you say, hey, I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. It's not easy to find those nowadays, and sometimes they may get back to you and say, wow, yeah, it's rare to hear a guy actually say he's looking for that. Well, I truly am. I'm a good guy, and I'm, I'm a real, decent guy. I'm not a sissy or anything like that. But yeah, I really want something real, and I just upfront about it. Right? Be upfront about whatever you're seeking, guys and gals. Be upfront about it, because the right person that's looking for the same thing will appreciate it. The wrong people are going to run away and it would have never worked for them at all in the first place. So just be you. Be natural. That's it. Yeah, people don't always appreciate honesty, or sometimes it is bad luck. Well, I wouldn't say it's bad luck. It's taking a chance. You're not going to connect with everyone. There's not going to be chemistry with everyone. It's very rare that you find someone that you have that undeniable chemistry. It probably happens maybe 2 or 3 times every 10 years or so. You find someone that it just really, really just takes off, in a positive, intense way from the get-go. So don't be discouraged by going on dates with people you thought it was going to work out with, and then it doesn't. That's what's going to happen most of the time. Keep pushing forward. Eventually, you're going to find that diamond in the rough. That's what it is. All right, so let's read a couple more, and then we're going to take our first break. We're at 50, almost 51 minutes. This is exactly why some women complain about getting so many matches. Like the one original poster mentioned, I'd rather match with 5 quality men who are looking for a real human woman to interact with than 100 dumpster fire fuckboys with 2 brain cells. I'm going to give you a big round of applause! Yeah. You see, I was saying exactly or pretty close to what this woman just stated here after reading the title of this posting. I'm that intuitive. I'm trying to help you guys work on your intuition, because all women have spot on intuition. Most men don't. The men that do are going to be able to figure this out a lot easier and have a better dating life and eventually find the right one. Men, you got to become a little more intuitive and work on finding yourself and figuring things out a little bit quicker and easier. Common sense, which is not that common anymore, right? Imagine thinking that you can tell who is a quality man from a dating profile. Well, you can't. That's why you send a few messages, trade numbers, talk on the phone, and hear for yourself. Are you folks skipping phone conversations nowadays? Is that what's happening? We may not be able to spot true quality, but we can absolutely weed out obvious garbage, which is plentiful on these apps. Right. So if these women get 100 matches, for example, 90 of them are going to probably be complete garbage of guys just swiping right on everything, right? Okay. That still leaves 10 good potential prospects that these women then have to go through those profiles, read the profiles individually, look at all the pictures, and if she's interested in all of them, she has to write something out to all of them. Is it going to be a copy and paste? Is it going to be an individually personalized note, which would take a lot longer? Don't you see how overwhelming that is? It's very overwhelming. Yeah, I know. I do that too. My comment was to note that even when we do that, it still doesn't guarantee, sadly, that the guys are quality. This happens to both men and women. Okay? Both men and women play games online. Both men and women seek validation online. It's more so women that seek validation, but men do it too. But both men and women play games. There are a lot of game players. Once you have had enough experience on the online dating world, you learn how to quickly weed out the time wasters, and then you focus on the potential decent women or men. That's it. Extremely true. Couple more here, then we're going to take a break. Delicious_Dana_184. That's a pretty cool chick's name there. It is actually pretty easy because a lot of men unintentionally put red flags in their profiles, and we love that. LOL. You know what, sweetheart? I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Wait, where's my applause button? Where's my applause button? You know, I don't know why my woman is calling me. Maybe she butt dialed me. I'm live on the air. Give me a second here. Hang on a second. Live on the air, you called me. I can't talk now. I told her that earlier. Anyway. No one needs to go out on a date with every single person they match with to know if you get along. That's a hugely ridiculous thought process. It is. It takes one person, okay? Both men and women can get a decent amount of matches, and through all those matches, you can find one that will work out. I get a lot of time and money back. All right. I get a lot of time and money back. All right. Money, question mark, paying for gas, expensive ass parking, etc. I live right outside a city and I've dated a few guys that live in the city. Oh, if you live in a city like San Francisco, you're paying for everything. It's a chore to go on a date. So you got to make real, you got to be sure and really properly vet people before you do that, because then it'll cost you a lot of money for nothing. So if they ask me out, I always offer to drive out to them since they'll most likely be paying for my dinner. Eek, that sucks. Oh, come on. See, that's why I don't take women out to dinner on a first date. Okay? I'm not going to say I haven't done that. In my younger days, I would do that, but nowadays, I wouldn't do that. You see how this woman is saying, I always offer to drive out to them since they'll most likely be paying for my dinner. So just because she's driving and paying the gas to drive to him, she highly assumes that he'll be paying for her dinner. That's why, like I said, on the first date, guys, never do anything like that. Okay? Unless, let's say you go on a walk or a hike early on in the day, and she's all over you and making out with you, and she's really into you, then you can say, hey, you want to grab some dinner, right? Because more than likely, if she's that into you, then she deserves dinner. Then after dinner, more than likely, she'll be saying, how close is your place? Or you want to come over to my place for a drink or something? And if she says that and offers you a drink or something, right? It's going to happen. All right, we are at 58 minutes. Let's go back to full screen here, and we're going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music and take a quick break and come back and go over the last 3 Reddit postings. They're pretty interesting, so let's cue it up, baby. Cue it up. Play some music I haven't played in a while, right? Let's see here. Let me see here. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. What else? What else can I play? Just need one more, Eli. Just need one more. I can't find the song I want to play. All right, there we go. All right, everyone. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a quick break, 10 minutes or less. When I get back, we've got 3 more Reddit postings, and they're going to get more and more interesting. The first one when we get back is from the subreddit relationships. And the title is BF, that's a 30 male and his parents, want me, 30 female, to sign a prenup. Oh, yeah, that's a hot topic right there. After that, we're going to go to the subreddit relationships_advice. And the original poster's title there is, I went through my partner's phone and now I need advice. Well, why were you snooping on your partner's phone in the first place? Maybe she had a reason. Okay? It is a woman doing this to her man. So that's going to be the second one. Then at the very end, last but not least, we're going to go to the subreddit dating_advice. And the original poster's topic there is, why don't men care as much about income? One more time, why don't men care as much about income? And what he means by that is not their own income, is the income of the women they date. So that's going to be a real doozy. So that's what we'll discuss when I get back. So with that being said, stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right back.
same. Two walk like two out the door. Then you have magic. One comes around, one today. They don't see things the same. Two walk like two out the door. Then you have magic.
Oh yeah, we're back. Feel it. Woo! I feel good. Do you feel good? Yeah. Woo. Welcome back, everybody. Sometimes you just have to slow it down a little bit. Feel the rhythm and the beat, feel the groove, and just let all those positive feelings and positive spirits just flow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah! The song is called You're No Help by Silent Partner from the YouTube audio library. Free from copyright strikes, copyright claims, and demonetization. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta work with what you've got, right? All right. Yeah. Yes. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. Hope you're having an amazing night, having a great time doing the show here tonight. Crazy Dating Stories Volume 8. Shared a couple of great doozies to start off the show. And in the second, we have 3 more that are just gonna knock your socks off. I just can't believe some of these stories that I read out there on Reddit. And that's why I share them with you folks and share my thoughts on how to better these situations, so that way you can all accomplish whatever it is that your hearts desire. Before we get right back to it, folks, just a few things here. If you'd like to work with me personally and you need a little more hand holding than the information and tips and tricks I provide through my live streams and videos, you can go to my website at coacheli.com. The link is below in the description, and you can click on the coaching services tab and find the phone coaching or email coaching package that best works for you. My rates at this point are very, very reasonable. Prices will go up down the road, so now is a great time to have that one-on-one with me by phone or through email if you need some more help. Also, if you have been watching this channel for a while and you get great value from the message I put out here, and you would like to donate to support the channel and my business and my work, you can go to the bottom of the YouTube chat, and where you see that $ that's called the super chat and super sticker. You can send a super sticker or a super chat of any amount, and it will be highlighted at the top of the chat, depending on how great your donation is. The larger the donation, the longer it stays at the top of the chat. Also, Nightbot is sharing the link to my PayPal and my Cash App. You can make a one-time donation through PayPal or Cash App as well. Donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. And if you can't afford to donate, or like I've been saying all along, you feel like being a blood-sucking leech, I know there are many people out there like that, no problem. I still love each and every one of you, and I will help you as best as possible through these videos and live streams. All right, with that being said, let's get right back to the next Reddit posting here. Boo-doo-boo-boo. This is from the subreddit relationships, and the topic is BF, boyfriend 30 male, and his parents want me 30 female to sign a prenup. Wow! BF 30 male and his parents want me 30 female to sign a prenup. And oh boy, we got the dreaded sorry. This post has been removed by the moderation of r/relationships. But as always, Eli has a backup. So let's switch to the backup. There it is. There it is. I know it's a little bit tinier on the screen there, but if you're on a phone, tilt it to landscape. If you're on a TV, you should see it just fine. Let's read what was written. BF already comes from extreme wealth and currently owns a successful startup along with his childhood best friend. So, ma'am, he's trying to protect his investment. I can understand that. And the way the dating world is nowadays, you never know who you can and can't trust. And even if somebody is legitimately in love with someone and wants them for more than just their money, if something does happen and it doesn't work out and there's no prenup, ma'am, you would still take his money. But I can understand because, when you're married with someone, the marital assets are divvied up 50-50 typically in most states here in the U.S. and in most provinces across the world. So that really shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it can cause an issue if you come from wealth or you have a job that makes very good money. Their startup is valued at 9 figures. Whoo! 9 figures. Wow. Oh my God. So 7 figures is $1 million. 8 figures is 10 million. And 9 figures is 100 million? Is that right? Am I saying that right? Wow. So it's $100+ million valuation. Boy, ma'am, you're going to be marrying into some money. Whew, wow, what a tough situation to be in nowadays. He also pulls a 7-figure salary and has decent savings investments. So 7-figure salary, that's a multi-million, probably $1 million or multi-million dollar salary. So, wow. I mean, this is a real winner here, man. That being said, both of us have been dating from the past, you mean for the past 2.5 years? Okay, 2.5 years. It's not a long time, not a short time either. Once after our relationship got serious, we talked about getting married by the age of 30. Okay, that's not a bad age. You still have plenty of time to have, kids. You're both 30, so, you're at that point right now, right? So it's getting there, right? But the coronavirus epidemic says otherwise. Well, you didn't have to let the pandemic get in the way of you moving forward with your life and getting married. I think that's more of like an excuse, but hey, to each its own, right? So we decided to get married by early next year, and suddenly out of the blue, he popped the topic of prenup. Okay. What's wrong with that? I mean, I can understand how a prenup comes off. It's almost like a sign, well, I love you and I trust you, but in case something happens, I can't trust that you're not going to take half my money. Okay, I can get that. I understand that. Not once in our relationship, there was a hint of prenup. Ma'am, does it have to be? You've been with him for 2.5 years. Why would it come up until, it made sense for it to come up, right? See, the fact that you're arguing this, ma'am, is telling me that, you want to have that luxury of taking half his money if it doesn't work out. See, ma'am, if you really loved and cared for this guy, prenup or not, you wouldn't be making a big deal out of it. You'd be like, you know what? I understand you got a lot of money, babe, and I don't want your money. And if this is what I need to do to show you and your family that I'm with you for the right reasons, no problem, right? See, the woman I'm with right now, knows about my financial situation and knows about my family and what they've got and all that. And she constantly tells me, I'm not with you for your money or your family's money or anything like that. And I just want to make that very, very clear. I'm just happy to be with you. Like, she goes out of her way to tell me that. And that's why I respect her. Now, if her and I were to ever get married one day, I don't know how we would handle that. Like, I wouldn't want to offend her or hurt her or give her the wrong idea. But all I can say is that regardless of what came up, I think she would just be happy to be with me. So the fact that you're arguing this, ma'am, is telling me that you want the safety net of no prenup in case it doesn't work out. So that way you can, get a good payday. Even if that's not your intentions, ma'am, that's how you're coming off, Then I understood that the whole prenup thing was pushed by his parents and his childhood best friend, business partner. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter who pushed it, What does it matter? He has friends. They're going to talk with him. Is that really any of your business, ma'am? What their friends say or do? What matters is what happens between you and him, right? He told me that he wants to keep whatever assets he owned prior to the marriage and also future assets. Well, there's your answer, ma'am. What this guy in essence is saying is that he doesn't want to give you shit of his money if it doesn't work out, which I can kind of understand that to a certain extent, but that's also making him sound like a selfish, greedy bastard. And maybe, he really isn't as into you as it appears to be, right? It sounds like to me that he cares more about his money than he cares about you and the marriage and all that. And to me, it also sounds like you care more about the fact that you have to sign a prenup than actually just loving him unconditionally and regardless of the money situation. This is really, really stupid. I think you should both break up and move on. I think you both are handling this very, very immaturely at 30 years old. You're grown-ass adults, and you're not behaving like grown-ass adults. He also told me that he doesn't want to pay me alimony and demanded that I keep working so that I can financially support myself in case our marriage goes south. Well, that's a really shitty attitude for a guy to have before he even marries a woman. Man, there's your answer. Like, your answer is right there. Why would you want to marry a guy like this? I'll tell you why. Because he's loaded. Come on, man. This guy sounds very, very selfish. He sounds like he's more into his money than into you. Information Man shows in the house. Coach Eli, Elias Melas, much respect. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here, man. All right. This guy's already thinking that his marriage is going to go south before he even marries the woman. Wow. And why get married? He then told me to get in touch with a lawyer to review the prenup after it's drafted. Wow. I can understand having a prenup, and if a prenup is necessary, it can be handled in a much more mature and respectful way. But this dude sounds very, very demanding and controlling. And quite frankly, she sounds the same way on the flip side. Maybe they're two peas in the pod, but I still don't think this would work out. Well, yes, his Information Man show, and he says crazy. Yeah, this was a good one, Information Man show. This is a good one. He made it clear that I would walk away with whatever assets I brought into the marriage and not a penny more before he marries his woman. I know, dude, this is really pathetic, man. Like, why even date this woman if you don't really care about her? If he cared about her, he wouldn't be talking like this. He's talking to his woman. If this is actually what he's saying, this is what she's saying, he's saying, right? But if this is what he's saying, which probably makes sense, right? He's talking to his woman like she's a business transaction. True love and happiness and everlasting love in marriage is not a business transaction. It is a sanctity. It is a unity of two people that deeply love each other above and beyond everything else. This doesn't seem to be like that one bit. Wow. I feel disgusted that he thinks I'm marrying him for his wealth. Well, man, the truth of the matter is you are marrying him for his wealth. Because why would you want to marry a man that treats you like a business transaction? Why would you even consider it still? Why would you even talk about this on Reddit here, right? You're marrying him for his wealth, and he's basically treating you like a business transaction and will only marry you if you sign a prenup and understand that, you know, if you two go through a divorce, that you ain't getting shit out of his money or alimony or anything like that. What if you two have kids? Well, he's still been on the hook for child support, right? But come on. This has doomed written all over it. It pains my heart that he and his parents genuinely think I'm going to take him to the cleaners. Man, I'm a nice, good guy. I'm a decent guy. And I'm telling you right now, if you had the opportunity based on how you're reacting here, you would definitely take him to the cleaners. Now, I know there are some women out there that are, it's rare, they're good women that wouldn't take a man to the cleaners and be reasonable. But man, it doesn't sound like you're one of those women, because right now, you're not showing us publicly here on Reddit that you're being reasonable. You both are very unreasonable, right? What's keeping you two together? You two must have some amazing, amazing sex. Something is keeping you two together. And it's got to be the romance. I don't know. It's got to be the intimacy. At this point, I don't know whether I should continue our relationship or just break up and find someone in my financial range. You see, ma'am, your attitude is horrible. Number one, I think you both should break up with each other. This is not meant to be. Number two, you say, find someone else in my financial range. Why do you have to make it about money? You see, you're focused about money. He's focused about money. And you're completely ignoring the entire point of getting married and being with someone. It should be true love and happiness and romance. Like I was talking earlier on my Walking live stream, episode number 220 of my Walking with Purpose stream. Love should be unconditional, but nowadays it's not. Love today in the modern world is conditional based on a fair value exchange. It doesn't necessarily have to be about money. But if somebody is making the money, like he's the provider and you're the homemaker, you do your part in other ways and you're faithful and loyal and loving and nurturing and sweet and kind and do all the other stuff, right? Okay? You should find a guy that you have a fair value exchange with, not just monetarily, but in non-monetary ways as well. It sounds like here, this is not a fair value exchange. Like this is just a train wreck waiting to happen, in my opinion. Time for you to move on, part ways. All right, let's go back to the original page where this was removed, and the comments are still going to be there. Let's read a few comments here. Hi, I'm actually an attorney. I'm an actual attorney, and used to do family law. My final paper in family law capstone was a 30-page discussion of pre- and post-nuptial agreements. Get your own attorney. This is seriously the biggest piece of advice I can give you. His own attorney can advise you, but ultimately you are not his client. Your BF is his client. He will zealously advocate for his client. You need to get your own attorney, one with experience in prenuptial agreements, and that resides in your state. Secondly, prenups are really common when you're dealing with this amount of wealth. However, part of the reason you need to get your own attorney involved is so that the terms are not so skewed towards just him. Your own attorney should look at this document, examine it, and then run by you all your options. If at any point in time your BF tries to change the prenup at the last minute, like a week or so before the wedding, and declares he will cancel the wedding unless you sign, then case law this shows courts will invalidate the prenup as being signed under duress. Courts have recognized that having to cancel a wedding is incredibly humiliating, and that it is an unusual form of duress, but a form of duress nonetheless. This is way too long, and this is just someone claiming to be an attorney, just writing. I get this is probably some good advice here, but what does it matter? Why even get into this deep if you two don't truly love each other? And if they truly loved each other, would they be putting each other through this or finding a more mature way of handling this and loving and caring way of handling this? I don't even know if I want to read any more comments on this. I'm already annoyed by this. This is really stupid. I want to know how you know about celeb prenups. Aren't they typically confidential? Is there a website I can Google because I'm nosy as fuck and want to read these? Another attorney chiming in here. For context, I own a law firm. My husband's family is wealthier than mine. We have a prenup based on my own insistence. It's just smart. Well, wow. In this case, it's the woman that insisted the prenup. Okay, if you both are coming from wealth and you want to do it that way, I guess that's fine. But here's the thing. Why marry someone that you can't trust, right? I understand in some cases prenups, have to be done. But I've always looked at prenups as, if you have to force someone to sign one, are you really getting married for the right reasons? Why get married if you have that much fear that someone's going to take half your assets? And I know people change, women change, men change, things happen, especially in the modern world. But why, if that's the case, why even get married? Why not just date forever, right? And, just do it that way. So that way you don't have that, legally binding unity there, right? But then if you're with someone for 10 or 20 years, depending on the area, that could be considered a common law marriage. And then at that point, you may still be on the hook without a prenup. So, yeah, I get it. You just have to talk things out and figure out what's best for the overall aspect of the relationship. That's that. I've had enough of this one here. Wow, it's a tough call. Tough call. All right, let's go to the next one here. Huh. Who is that? Huh. Let me see here. Give me a second here. Boo doo boop boo. Doo 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 doo. 1 second, please. Huh. That's interesting. This is very, very interesting. You know, the go-to channel plugin is back. There's this channel in the chat that's probably just trying to get my attention. And it is, where am I here? It's called Scottish Velociraptor Maloish. And when I go to channel, it says this channel doesn't exist. So because of that, Scottish or whatever you are, take care. Thanks for stopping by and subscribing 24 hours in advance just for that. These people just have nothing better to do than troll, and it just doesn't bother me. It's comical. It's like little kids. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm trolling Eli again. All right. This next one is from the subreddit relationships_advice, and the original poster's title is I went through my partner's phone, and now I need advice. Let's read what they wrote. My partner, a 36 male, and I, 28 female. Okay, so you're 8 years younger. He's older, more experienced than you. That's not a bad age difference. You're still younger, and he wants to have kids. You know, you're at a good age, 28. You know, great. Have been together for nearly 3 years. So since you were 25 and he was 33, okay, not bad, not bad. Have lived together for the last year. However, I recently came across him using Bumble momentarily, and I need advice. Well, that means there's something lacking in your relationship, ma'am. Have you gained any weight? Have you changed anything since when you first got together or moved in together? Are you less sexual with him than you were? Has your attitude changed a bit? Number one, a man would not move in with a woman that he wasn't completely into, and so that's telling me at some point after you moved in with him, something changed about you that got him to start to lose attraction for you. And he's probably looking for his backup plan now. Now, you shouldn't be doing it that way, but that's how many men and women do it. They find their replacement, and then they get rid of you. Or they find your replacement, and then they get rid of you, which is what I'm trying to say. To give my backstory, before my current partner, I had several boyfriends where almost all of them ended because they cheated on me. Well, it looks like another one's about to happen, ma'am. And this has a lot to probably do with how you are as a person. You know, maybe you have a lack of self-love. Maybe, you're closed off about certain things. There's something lacking from you that's causing these men to do this to you. It's probably self-love and self-respect, right? My very first relationship began when I was about 14 to 15 years old, and it lasted about 6 years. That's not bad. It's pretty young, but that's not bad for dating at that young age. This one was an absolute nightmare in the trust department. Checking his phone became a regular thing after I found he had been talking with other women. Well, ma'am, if you were a good woman, attentive, took good care of yourself, romantic, easy to get along with, this wouldn't be happening to you. There's something regarding the way you're showing up that's making these guys do this to you. If it was just one guy, I can understand it. But it seems like every guy you come across, the same thing happens. So that's telling me it's something regarding the way you're showing up or not showing up. One day he had borrowed my laptop and it died while he was using it. Later he told me he thought that it would just restart once I opened it. But lo and behold, when I went to use my laptop again, everything opened exactly as he had it. That's because it probably went into sleep mode, right? And when you wake the computer from sleep, it just leaves off where it left off. Everything's stored in memory. That's a Windows thing. And I believe Macs do that as well, too. There were Facebook chats open with a few women that he was talking with, talking about meeting up, having sex, asking for nude photos, etc., etc. It was all totally inappropriate. So we did the whole song and dance where he pleaded and begged for my forgiveness. Give me a second here. Said it would never ever happen again. That's BS, man. Don't ask why I stuck around. I was young, naive. He was my first love. I wanted to marry him and have his babies, the whole 9 yards. You were emotionally attached to your first, man. That can happen. So I can understand that. But what about the now? Long story short, it happened again and again. We broke up. Also, a year after we broke up, we met for coffee, and he outwardly told me he had cheated on me all throughout our 6-year relationship. God. I then continued to see similar patterns in following relationships and consequently gained severe trust issues that can only be fixed when I go through my partner's phones because I just cannot trust their words. Man, this has to do with how you're showing up and a lack of self-respect and a lack of self-love. You make it easy for these guys to walk all over you, so they do that. Man, you got to have a spine. You don't. I've been severely fucked up as a result of all this. Ma'am, you're fucking yourself up. Sorry to say so. And after happening so many times, I began only having open relationships with men to avoid the hurt and betrayal I had previously experienced. So you like the sex, ma'am. That's what it is. Open relationships. Ma'am, you wouldn't have open relationships just to avoid the pain. Maybe it's what you really like. My current partner has been by far the most honest, sometimes brutally so. He says it like it is, and I appreciate it. Okay, so where's the problem? But I continue going through his phone in secret to prove this is so. I am very aware of how crazy this is and how I am breaching his privacy. Well, then why are you doing it? Why not just talk with him about it? I really wish I weren't like this. Well, it has to do with your past experience. It also has to do with not having self-love. And, not, being self-aware, man. That's the thing. That's the thing. Through doing this, I found he does not talk to other women inappropriately. Anything that may come up in a conversation, he simply tells them he has a girlfriend. I cannot tell you the relief it gives me. The anxiety I usually have is nowhere to be found with this guy. Well, then, if he tells these women that he has a girlfriend, why is he talking with them in the first place? It's kind of odd to me that even if he's saying, I have a girlfriend, how did he spark up a conversation with these new women in the first place out of the blue? Come on. It is extremely refreshing. Ma'am, don't be naive. Also, just a side note, a newfound fetish of mine after doing this is like that really, like seeing the porn videos he watches. I now get off on this in secret, which I am also ashamed of. Ma'am, it sounds like to me you have a fetish of all this stuff that you're saying that you don't like. It sounds like to me, ma'am, like maybe you've had so many intimate partners, or maybe, since the first guy you were with for 6 years that cheated on you the entire time was such a good lover. That's why you stayed with him and no one's compared to him since. And now for you to get off, per se, figuratively, you're literally speaking, you need all this stuff. But you are a lady and you're ashamed of it because you're a lady instead of just being open and honest with your guy. Who knows? Maybe he'll accept it, maybe not. A few days ago, him and I got into a fight. We didn't talk for 2 days. And during this time, there was a moment where I went through his phone when he wasn't around and found he had downloaded Bumble and was using it this day where we hadn't been speaking. I later on gave him an opportunity to be honest with me and share anything he'd like, even explicitly asked if he'd been on dating apps. He denied it and said he had not been. After this conversation, he stepped away for a moment, but left his phone. I checked it, and the app was no longer on his phone, so he had deleted it sometime before we had this conversation. This guy, if he is cheating or lining up your replacement, man, is being smart about it. He knows how to cover his tracks. Seems like to me this is a game for you and for him. This is a toxic relationship in my opinion, and I feel, man, that if you want something real, it's not going to be with this guy. But it also seems like you love the train wreck, man. You get off on the train wreck. You get off on the train wreck, but you are saying you're also ashamed of it at the same time. I think it is important to note. Give me a second here. I think it is important to note him and I have been looking for a third to have a threesome with. A personal fantasy of mine. Oh, God. So if he would have said he was using it to look for a third, which both him and I have done in the past, oh my God. I would have been very understanding. Wow, man. This modern dating world, never mind. Let's just move forward. Which both him and I have done in the past, I would have been very understanding. But because he just outright denied using the app, obviously, I can't help but feel like he was using it for his own personal use, which doesn't feel good. Man, this is a toxic relationship here. Sounds like you both need to do like excessive things to be able to enjoy the climax of intimacy like you used to. Yeah, and I know people like that. To me, it's like unhealthy and it's not real, and it's going to catch up to you in the long run. To me, you both are not in a good place, and I think you need to break up. Like, I would not be putting up with this in a relationship. I'm a one-woman man, and I want that V all to myself, and, and the woman I'm with, I want her to feel like, she wants my, lower region all to herself. That's the way it should be. It's a sanctity between a man and a woman. I really don't want to jump to conclusions, but it is kind of hard not to in this case. I don't know. It confuses me why he lied. What does it matter why he lied, man? You both want to do threesomes and watch porn and all that kind of weird stuff, man. What does it matter? There's nothing here. I really don't want to jump to conclusions, but it is kind of hard not to in this case. I don't know. It confuses me why he lied. I don't understand. I will be seeing a therapist in a week and will bring all of this up. But any words of advice would be appreciated, especially from a male's perspective. Ma'am, this is not a healthy relationship. And what you're doing to feel pleasure through intimacy, if you can't get pleasure from intimacy just by being in a monogamous relationship, ma'am, then you've got other underlying unresolved mental and emotional issues you need to work through. Maybe it's from your childhood and the way your parents raised you, or daddy issues, or maybe it was that first relationship that messed you up so bad you haven't worked through it, ma'am. You want to go to a psychiatrist and pay a ton of money for them to tell you the same thing I just told you? That's on you, ma'am, but I think you know what the answer is. TLDR, I went through my partner's phone and found he had used Bumble very briefly. Now I need advice. Well, there are 6 comments here. I'm just going to read a couple of them and get to the last story here. Great show tonight, says Information Match All. You like it, man? I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate it. Let's see. The thing is that you can't be honest with him, otherwise he'll know your snooping habits. You can say whatever you want to justify it, but you also have been lying to him. They both have been lying to each other. This is toxic. These are both sick freaks, in my opinion, right? These are two people that are in a very unhealthy relationship because They have unhealthy issues that they both haven't worked through. Unresolved issues. It's time to dissolve this relationship. While what he did isn't great, he probably didn't do anything. The really bad fight probably led him to check to get a boost in his self-confidence and things like that. Again, wrong. No, they're just both sexual freaks. That's what they are. They're both sexual freaks that need to do crazy things outside of monogamy to have an orgasm, right? I know people like that. It's sad when things end up being that way. He lied because he knows it's wrong, and if he didn't pursue anything and didn't have the app, he thought it would be easier. Okay. Sucks for you, of course. Sorry, sucks for you. Of you want to confront him? What? That doesn't make sense. And maybe it meant to say, do you want to confront him? Or if you want to confront him. I think that's what it was, instead of off. If you want to confront him, you'll need to tell him you snooped his phone. I honestly think there's nothing here. They need to both just go their separate ways. This is an unhealthy, toxic relationship. Let's read one more here before we get to the final posting. So I'd be very concerned that you've seen he's used Bumble and lied to you about it, but now maybe it's time for you to have an honest conversation about what you've seen and how you've been going through his phone for a while now too. I think nothing here matters. They're both in a very toxic and unhealthy relationship. And if they're not happy just being intimate together monogamously, then why are they together? Why are they even in a relationship? I also think you're maybe not in the right place to bring a third into your bedroom just yet. I mean, I'm not one that preaches that. I've never done that. I'm a monogamous person, but to each its own. This lady made it sound like why would she be mad that he's, talking to other women on Bumble if their relationship is like an open relationship kind of, right? What does it matter? What does it matter? Let's see. Even before the Bumble thing, it seems you have some serious trust issues because of your past experiences, and having a threesome is absolutely not going to help you at the moment. Big round of applause! There we go. Finally, a comment that makes sense about this story here. It seems you have some serious trust issues because of your past experiences. I don't have to read any more. That's what it is. It's past trauma, unresolved. Until she resolves it, she's not going to have what she truly wants. I think she wants a monogamous relationship where she can feel the fire and be able to orgasm in a monogamous way with her man. But because of her past trauma, and she doesn't want to get hurt, like she said earlier in her post, in the original posting, she's resorting to open relationships, furthering her issue, masking her issue. Enough said. Let's go to the last posting here before we wrap this up. Get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air in about 10 to 15 minutes. This is a short one. We're at 1 hour and 52 minutes. All right. This is from the subreddit dating_advice, and the original poster's title is, "Why don't men care as much about income?" One more time. Why don't men care as much about income? And they're talking about, or he's talking about, a woman's income, right? Great way to end the show here. And again, sorry this post has been removed by the moderation of our dating_advice. But, let's go to the image. Let's switch this here. Okay. There it is. Give me a second here. Let me, just a second here. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. All right. That should do it right there. So let's read the posting that was deleted. I don't understand why some of these get deleted. Like, there's nothing wrong here. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to ask about your opinions on this topic. It's a great topic. Why don't men care as much about why don't men care as much about a woman's income? I was thinking about people I knew who were in long-term relationships and who were single, and this topic came to mind. It should be came to mind with a D. Wow. The illiteracy, I'm sure this guy's from the U.S. The illiteracy here in the U.S. is at an all-time high. These damn smartphones. This topic came to mind. Not my mind. It came to mind. Especially since I have 3 older brothers like this. Okay. First one came to mind. Oh, you got it right there. So it must have been a typo, right? You must have been typing this on your iPhone autocorrect, right? Or your Android, right? Is my eldest brother 31 and his sister-in-law together since 18. He is a civil engineer making $250K plus a year on salary alone, while she never graduated college, worked sales, payroll, and is currently a stay-at-home mom of 2 children. Well, maybe that's what they wanted. That's called a traditional relationship, which if people still want that nowadays, it can still happen. It's rare, but if that's how they want to live their life, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's the right woman and doesn't divorce him and take half his money, like what would probably have happened in that previous story I did with the prenup situation, right? Okay. Second is my second eldest brother, 28, who works software development and makes similar money at like $200K or so a year, depending in his hours or on his hours, brother. On his hours, not in his hours. Oh, boy. His fiancée dated when they were 20, engaged for 1 year now, is a special education teacher who only makes around $40K. That's what teachers make. That's what she enjoys doing, right? He makes $200K, she makes $40K, right? She can take her money and go buy all the makeup and glamour stuff that women like to buy for themselves and all her extra toys, and he can pay the rest of the bills. Nothing wrong with that, right? It actually works better that way because women respect the man. Even modern women that want to be liberated and work will respect a man that makes more money than them. It's just how they are biologically hardwired. No disrespect. Hell, even my third brother, 25, who just graduated as an electrical engineer and is making $100K already, is dating a dental assistant together for 4 years now, who only makes like $35K. The ones here in my area, because the cost of living is higher, they make about $50K. But same thing, right? So she makes $35K, he makes $100K. That's great. That's great. And with my lady, we're in a similar situation. And she respects me, I respect her. You got to understand, dude, like just because things nowadays, are liberated for women, women are working and they're doing jobs that were once only known as jobs that men would do, right? And women have the right to work and they're buying their own home, their own cars, etc., right? Okay? Just because things are the way they are nowadays doesn't mean that women aren't biologically hardwired aren't biologically hardwired the same way they always were hardwired. Up until about 55 years ago, women did not have the same rights. They were homemakers. They were dependent on a man for survival, for everything. And that's how I believe a higher power that I know to be God created man and woman to be. Right now, nothing wrong with women having equal rights and working and doing everything they're doing, okay? But that's not how women, even to this day, were biologically made to be, right? This is why this is working out, okay? So these women are modern women that still have old school roots, but they're still working. They're not making as much as their husbands or their boyfriends, but they're making enough to feel like they have a purpose, to show their husband they're trying to help out, but the husband is still the breadwinner, and the leader and the masculine one, and she's the feminine one, and together they make a great team with no disrespect to either side. This is absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Okay? Let's see. Like the list goes on of all the guys I know who are super well off, not caring at all about their partner's income. Well, I know women who are also well off can't find guys to get into relationships with. That's because of what I just said. Even women that are making a lot of money nowadays, if a woman is making more money than you, she will not respect you. Okay? Even though there are women that like to flex their muscles and say, yeah, we're as good as men or better than men or whatever, they will not respect a man that makes less money than them. It is just the way it is, because women have always looked up to a man, not looked down to a man. And if a man is making less money than the woman, a woman is looking down towards her man. It's a biology thing. Okay? That's the thing, right? So you said, like, the list goes on of all the guys I know who are super well off, not caring at all about their partner's income. Okay? It is because what we look for in a woman has nothing to do with money. It's plain and simple, like I've said before, I'll say it again, what men look for in a woman. We look for a sweet, loyal, kind, caring, down-to-earth, compassionate woman that is more submissive than dominant. Now, she doesn't have to be 100% submissive all the time. She can be dominant at times, but she needs to be in her submissive nature most of the time, like 70 to 80% of the time. She needs to be submissive, and 20 to 30% of the time, she can be dominant. That's what men are attracted to naturally throughout the history of time, even before women were liberated. Just because women have been liberated does not mean that our biological needs and instincts have changed since the inception of time. They haven't. That's the truth. I don't understand why. Shouldn't income be important, especially with everything getting more expensive? You're not understanding it, dude. You're not understanding it, man. You've got a long way to go. You are probably in your late teens, early 20s. If you have a brother who's 25, you're probably younger than that. You're probably the young buck, right? And you're not understanding the biological needs of men and women since the inception of time. You are looking at this from the progressive world we live in today that's progressed to artificially change things in the way they are today that are outside of women's biological and natural essence. That's what you're not getting here, dude. Men have always been dominant. Women have always been submissive. Nowadays, the world's trying to change women and make them more dominant, right? And even more dominant than men in some cases. That's not attractive to men, and it doesn't work. All your brothers are happy to be the breadwinners and to have good ladies that are working their jobs, maybe making a third or half of what they're making. They combine that income, they respect each other, they have kids, and they enjoy life and live happily ever after. Because the woman can respect the man as being the head of the household, as being the protector, as being the leader, right? Even though women say they want to be the leaders at times, trust me, when they get into position when it comes to dating, they don't want to lead their relationship. They want the man to lead it no matter what they say. That's just the bottom line. Bottom line. I'm 20F. Oh, you're a 20 female. Okay. So you're a 20 female. There we go. Currently majoring in nursing. That's a great field. My current woman used to be a nurse. Great money there. You can make like 50, 60 bucks an hour or more. And you're going to be helping people, and that's a job. Actually, that is more so done by females than males. There are male nurses, but nurses are primarily females. And planning on becoming an anesthetic nurse. Anesthetic nurse, which averages around 120K a year in my area and would like a guy with similar income so we can live a comfy lifestyle. Ma'am, let me tell you this. If you're going to be making 120K a year, you're probably living in New York or the San Francisco Bay Area or one of these major cities where the cost of living is high, like where I live here in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? So I'm going to tell you right now, your man is going to need to make at least 150 to 200K a year for you to be able to respect him, okay? So you're saying you'd like a guy with a similar income. Yes, at the very least, if a man's not making 120, you're not going to respect him. But it's going to take probably a little bit more because, ma'am, if you're starting at 120, you're probably going to get raises. And if he's not already making more than you, you may eventually out-earn him, and you may eventually end up losing respect for him, even though you probably think you won't. Trust me, it will happen. The moment you surpass him, you're going to see him as weaker than you. And you're going to fall in love with him, and the rest is just going to go downhill. Trust me on that, okay? We all live in a suburban area, Texas, by the way. 120K in Texas, that's damn good money. You live like a king and queen. Wow. Well, maybe that type of nurse out here in the Bay Area, my lady can probably tell me this, probably makes over 200K a year. An anesthetic, if that's what it is. Anestetist or something, nurse or something, I don't know. It's kind of tiny on the screen, I can barely see it, but anyway. Let's see. So cost of everything, even expensive here compared to cities like California, where most of our family lives. Oh, sorry. She says, so cost of everything isn't even expensive here compared to cities like California, where most of our family lives. They probably live in the San Francisco Bay Area or LA or Orange County or somewhere. Oh, yeah, man. Your 120 will get you a lot further where you're at. Will get you 2 to 3 times further where you're at than where I'm at. Trust me on that. Good point. So I just wanted to hear your guys' insight on this. Well, I shared my insight. Let's go back to the original posting that was removed. The comment section is still there. All right, let's scroll down and read a few comments before we wrap this up. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air soon. We are at 2 hours and 6 minutes. Men who are should be financially stable, don't really set an income as a criteria in dating. That is true. I've been saying that all along. It is not important to guys, in my opinion. It is not. We just want a sweet, loving, caring, submissive, sweet, down-to-earth woman. Easygoing woman. A woman with no drama. A woman that's not an alcoholic. A woman that doesn't do drugs. A woman that is a sweetheart. That's all we want. Plain and simple. Better to have someone who's emotionally compatible than someone who makes the same income. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that! Yeah! I could not have said it any better myself. I think most men won't ask how much the other person makes. We don't care. Men, we don't even care about what a woman does for a living until we have been intimate with her and we know that it's going to turn into a real relationship. Once that happens, then yes, we do care. Like, I care about what my lady does and all that, but honestly, like I'm not concerned about her income as long as she has enough money to take care of herself and her own bills. You know, right now my lady and I are not living together. Down the road we may live together. So right now she's got her bills and her rent. I've got my bills, my rent and all that, right? And that's that, right? That's all that matters. Exactly. My GF makes a third of what I make, and I don't care in the slightest. I can handle my and posteriorly our finances by my own. Okay, you can handle your finances. I want her for her love. Big round of applause! I want her for her love. That's all men want. That's all men want. That's how things were before women were liberated. And men and women are still biologically hardwired in the same ways as things were before women got liberated, right? That's why it doesn't matter to men. Plain and simple. Couple more, then we're going to go off the air. Sounds like a simp, though. No, dude, don't let the MGTOW community screw with your mind. That is not a simp, dude. For a dude that's with a woman that makes a third of what he makes, and he just wants her for her love, that's how I feel about my woman. We're in a similar situation. You're going to call me a simp? I tell you what, bro, I'd love to see you meet up with me and call me a simp. All right? You'll understand if you meet someone you like and is well off enough. Maybe he has other stiff requirements. Stiff requirements, all right. The interesting flip side to this is that women will look for men who make more than them, even if they're already well off. Big round of applause, perfect sense. It's because women do not respect men that make less money than them, no matter what they say. God. One more, and then we're going off the air. My ex-girlfriend made a weird remark about me not making enough for my age. I'm 35 and make $110K to $125K depending on bonus. That's good money, brother. I bought a used car cash and have no debt. She's a nurse and makes $55K. Well, that's a low-end nurse to only make $55K. Most nurses are going to make 70 in the more affordable areas in the U.S. They'll make about 70 or so. And here in the Bay Area, they make 80, 90, 100 plus K a year, 110, 120K a year. Seemed like she was more caught up in the fact that I don't need a new car or have flashy things. I don't know where it came from or why it even irked me, but it led to a breakup. LOL. Well, if I was with a woman that criticized me for not making enough money for your age, and because you bought a used car, now here's the thing, dude, honestly, if you're making that much money, maybe you bought a decent used car, like a 2 or 3 year old used car. I can understand that. If you bought a jalopy and you're making that much money, dude, then I can understand what she's saying, but still, she shouldn't be criticizing you or judging you for that. A woman that's going to say a remark like that is really not into you, right? Is really not into you. And maybe it's because maybe you haven't spent much of your money on her. Maybe you're pretty frugal. That's what it sounds like. And maybe she's annoyed that you're just too cheap. Maybe that's part of your issue, bro. Maybe you're just too cheap. So, honestly, if you're going to be in a relationship, you should be a little, I'm not saying to not save money and blow all your money, but you got to spend a little money, have a little fun. I'm thinking here that maybe you're both at fault, but yeah, it's pretty rude for her to make a remark like that. I would break up with somebody that said something like that too, bro. It's just rude. All right, folks, and that's going to wrap things up here tonight. Let's go back to full screen. I got to get going. I got to call my lady before she falls asleep. And then we're going to hang out like early tomorrow morning. So hopefully she didn't, pass out on me. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. If I get back at a reasonable hour tomorrow evening after seeing my lady during the day, I may do Crazy Dating Stories Volume 9. I'm not going to be doing a walking stream. Obviously, tomorrow I'm going to be in my lady's area. So you may not even get any content from me tomorrow. If you don't get a show from me tomorrow night, I'll be back on Thursday with a Walking with Purpose stream, and maybe another stream at night from the studio. Maybe I'll do Crazy Dating Stories Volume 9 on Thursday if I don't do it tomorrow on Wednesday. Just keep it locked here. Subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. Please also like and share. And yeah, that's about it. That being said, have yourselves a great, great night. And I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.